16 drivers, 10 races, 1 champion. The chase for the Bill France Cup begins tonight. And what a wild way to begin the playoffs and at a track that has become a fan favorite. This new era of this racetrack, just 5 races in, already has produced one of the greatest races in NASCAR history back in February. But today, it is back, but this time, the stakes are much higher. Balancing between caution and danger will be a very tedious task for the playoff drivers, but it makes it much more intriguing for us fans to see how it all unfolds. Welcome to MDK RaceDay and the first race of the round of 16 in the 2024 NASCAR playoffs, and we are live from the Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia for the running of the Quaker State 400 presented by Walmart. It is a beautiful start to the playoffs here in Hampton, Georgia. Temperature going to be in the low 80s with a slight wind at 7 miles an hour heading east-northeast through the racetrack. About a 49% humidity, but look at that, just a 7% chance of rain. Sunny all day long. A beautiful day to go racing. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of MDK RaceDay. My name is Jed. Hope we're having a wonderful Sunday. Football, NASCAR kicking off with the NFL kicking off on the same weekend for the first time. But it is the first race of the 2024 NASCAR playoffs, and starting in Atlanta, you know damn well it is going to be wild. So let's not waste any time and jump right into it with a look at what the round of 16 looks like heading into the first race tonight at Atlanta. So at the moment, Kyle Larson has a 35-point gap ahead of the cut line with Christopher Bell in second. Tyler Reddick in third, plus 23, the regular season champion, sitting pretty nicely. But really, outside of those 3 drivers, you have to be a little bit worried. William Byron, plus 17. Ryan Blaney at plus 13, the defending champion. Denny Hamlin at plus 10. Chase Elliott at plus 9. And then a sharp drop. Keselowski at plus 3. Teammates Logano and Cindric at plus 2 apiece, with Daniel Suarez at plus 1. And Alex Bowman holds a final spot, leading a 3-way tie between him, Chase Briscoe, and Harrison Burton, with Ty Gibbs and Martin Truex Jr. bringing up the rear in 15th and 16th. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR and proud sponsor of the Busch Light Polo Award given to the fastest driver at each NASCAR Cup Series event, Busch Light congratulates Michael McDowell for his 5th career pole, all taking place in 2024 and sweeping qualifying at Atlanta in 2024, doing it with a speed of 179.261 miles per hour. He has also won the last 4 consecutive drafting track poles. Since 2020, Busch Beer has invested more than $70 million in becoming one of the NASCAR Cup Series premier title sponsors. So here's a look at the 2024 starting lineup for the Quaker State 400 presented by Walmart. On the front row, alongside Michael McDowell, is the defending champion Ryan Blaney. Oh, so close to winning here, finishing second by just thousandths of a second in February, starting alongside. Row 2 is McDowell's teammate Todd Gilliland and Josh Berry in the 4 car. Austin Dillon, the number 2 Ford, starting alongside the 2021 Cup Series champion Kyle Larson in the 5. Joe Logano, who won here back in the spring of 2023, starting alongside Austin Dillon in the 3 car, with William Byron, who won the first race of the new version of Atlanta back in 2022. He also won it last fall, starting alongside last week's winner Chase Briscoe in the 14 car. Row 6 has playoff drivers Alex Bowman and the Daytona August winner Harrison Burton in the 21 car. Row 7 has Noah Gragson, to his outside is the number 31 car of Daniel Hemrick. Row 8 has Kyle Busch, just trying to keep up his continuous winning streak of having at least 1 win in the column, starting alongside Chase Elliott in the 9 car, who won here in the fall of 2022. Row 9 has Chris Buescher starting alongside Raj Chastain, and round out the top 20 is Brad Keselowski, who nearly won here back in the spring of 2023, starting alongside Ty Gibbs in the 54 ride. Row 11 has Ryan Preece and Martin Truex Jr. competing in his final playoff appearance, and Row 12 is the regular season champion Tyler Reddick, starting alongside his teammate Bubba Wallace in the 23 car. Row 13 has Corey LaJoie and Christopher Bell in the 20 car. Row 14 has Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Shane Van Gisbergen in the 16 ride once again, with Justin Haley and the winner back in February, Daniel Suarez, in the 99 ride. Row 16 has Cody Ware and rookie Carson Hocevar. Row 17 has Eric Jones and rookie Zane Smith. John Hunter Nemechek and BJ McLeod, row 18. And row 19, JJ Yeley, and an odd, very strange qualifying run for Denny Hamlin, starting dead last in this race. Don't know what happened with that 11 car, but he was way off the pace during his qualifying performance. Hopefully that 11 team had their issue sorted out coming race time here later today. Now let's take a look at the odds to win the Quaker State 400. No surprise, the fact that it is a mini super speedway and anything can happen. These odds, outrageous. A four-way tie for plus 1,000 between Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Joe Logano, and Brad Keselowski. Pole sitter McDowell sitting at plus 1,200, Hamlin at 1,400, and then 1,600 to Larson and Buescher, as well as Austin Cindric with Ross Chastain, Chase Elliott, William Byron, and Christopher Bell all sitting at plus 1,800, Reddick at plus 2,000, Josh Berry and Gibbs at 2,200, Truex, Suarez, and Briscoe, and Bubba Wallace all sitting at plus 2,500. So, what can we expect at Atlanta? Well, if it's anything of what we saw back in February, pure chaos. In fact, I would actually argue that Atlanta, really the past couple seasons or couple races, has produced fantastic races. So I won't be surprised if the same happens tonight, where we just see incredible racing, aggressive racing, and we overall see a very fun race. Now, Atlanta, though, it's not like a track where, like what we saw in Daytona. For example, when Harrison Burton won that race, Daytona and Talladega is the real true sense of anything can happen. However, at Atlanta, I don't think that's going to be the case. Now, at the moment, we have ran 5 races at Atlanta. 4 of those 5 have been won by Chevrolet. Byron has won twice, Suarez won it back in February, and Chase Elliott won it in the fall of 2022. The only driver that didn't win that wasn't a Chevrolet was Joe Logano in the spring of 2023. But those names I just mentioned, they are all drivers that have won multiple races and or a championship. Coming into Atlanta, already we have seen this racetrack age like none other. This is a track that has quickly becoming an old Daytona or an old Talladega, where tires and handling will matter. And the longer we want to rerun at Atlanta over time, tire management, handling is going to be more and more of a factor. So I shouldn't expect it any less here today, especially when we're running in the middle of the afternoon in the hot sun, 80 degrees. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wet, hot, slick, and wild, so tires will be very important. So because of that, I think the drivers that we see up front continuously on the super speedways are going to stay there. So Michael McDowell, we know how good he runs there. Ryan Blaney, we know how good he is on the super speedways. I expect the Fords as a whole, like McDowell, like Blaney, like Keselowski, like Logano, to be up front, contending, leading laps, and basically trying to keep everything calm with them up front. I don't see what we saw in Daytona where Parker Retzlaff, drivers like that, or Harrison Burton, where yes, you can win it if you're in it. Atlanta's not Daytona or Talladega. You really need to have a good car setup and really be able to time your moves correctly. You can't just, pick the right lane. You have to be able to time your moves correctly and have a good race car under your feet to be able to come up to the front and stay at the front. I mean, when you look at it, I believe 3 of the 5 winners at Atlanta, all those winners were drivers that led the most laps. Byron, when he first won here, led, I think, over 100 laps. Chase Elliott led, I think, 90-some laps. Logano led over 100-something laps. So this racetrack has proved, even in this new era, this new mini super speedway form of Atlanta, the best drivers stay out in front. They're able to get to the front and stay in the front. And I don't know why that trend can't continue tonight. I feel like the best car is going to be able to go up to the front, stay at the front, lead the most laps, and I think that the driver that wins this race will be the one that leads the most laps. On the contrary, this is the playoffs we're talking about. When you have this win and you're in, you have to look at drivers like a Harrison Burton, like a Chase Briscoe, drivers, hell, I'll even maybe Alex Bowman, drivers that you probably don't expect to advance based off of winning other racetracks like Watkins Glen or Bristol coming up after Atlanta. So they look at this race as really probably their only chance of advancing. And this also could be a great opportunity, or shouldn't say opportunity, but a great chance for the top drivers like Larson, like Reddick, like Byron, like Blaney to have slip-ups, to get caught up in crashes. We have seen big-time crashes. Hell, lap 2 back in February took out numerous race cars in the process. So danger is imminent, I think, at Atlanta in the playoffs. We're going to see a big wreck. The question is will it take out any playoff drivers? I think there's a really good chance we could see the playoff grid get flipped upside down after today. But overall, that's really all I can say much about this race. I can't really judge on which drivers to watch out for. The only thing I can really say is that Ford will be strong, but also Chevrolet, Chase William Brown, like I said, a 2-time winner there. Chase Elliott can win there. Kyle Larson, maybe. Depending on, if he can get some super speed luck to his side. You have to look at maybe a driver like Kyle Busch, who came oh so closer to winning at Atlanta back in February, finishing 3rd. He can be in contention. Lots of big name drivers can be in contention for this race. I'll also look at some other surprise underdogs, and maybe Todd Gillen, who I think led the most laps back in February. I think maybe 50 or 60 something laps, but was out of contention late in the race. So I would look at those drivers like that can have the speed. Ford, we know how good they are on super speedways. I expect Ford to be a major role into deciding who wins this race or not. And that is why I have Joey Logano winning this race. Joey Logano, he hasn't had a good season. And I said this in my playoff predictions video. I have him winning Atlanta. Logano, I feel like with Logano, Atlanta's his only opportunity. I can't see him at Watkins Glen at Bristol. With the season he's had, I can't see him advancing from those 2 races. I feel like if he's going to advance out of the round of 16, it's going to be at Atlanta. And knowing Logano and his mentality, winning at all costs, I feel like he'll do whatever he can to get to the front and stay in the front. So I have Joey Logano winning this race. But that is it for this episode of MDK Race Day. Again, it's a bit shorter than what I wanted to be, but not really much to go off of when you go to a track like Atlanta, but regardless, it's going to be wild, it's going to be crazy, and I'm excited. Let me know, who do you think is going to win in the comment section down below, and what do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're going to see a playoff winner or a surprise winner? Again, let me know what all of y'all think in the comment section down below, and don't forget to check back here later tonight, recapping everything that went on MDK Racing Victory Stop. But for now, until then, my name is Jett from MDK. Thank you so much for watching. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the 2024 Quaker State 400 and the opening round of the 2024 NASCAR playoffs.